Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and I'm here with Mike Kelly. And I am, what are we, Real Estate Jerky Daily? I don't remember.
Daily this week.
I'm so tired from this last weekend moving pine needles. And
it's called Raking the Forest.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad if, we did it. I put them in piles a couple of years ago, and I was going to do them, and then life happened. And then now you got these piles that are so heavy. And that's what the first part up by the road, I filled up almost the whole trailer. Damn, that was like nothing.
That was 2 years ago stuff.
Well, then I finally get it in, and of course I get up on top and pack them down into the trailer,
right,
and keep packing it in. And then I got pretty much all the front side done and down the right side, and I just got the back to do, which has a lot.
Yeah,
on top of that, but the biggest problem is I couldn't get my quad to work. Because I use it to pull the pint. I put it all on a tarp and then just pull the tarp up with the quad.
And you couldn't get it to work?
No, I know what the problem is.
Oh, okay.
I did everything but one thing I should have done, and it probably would have worked.
Well,
it's a fuel issue. Let's just leave it at that.
I didn't have anything quite that heavy or that.
Well, I started on. Remember, I started on Thursday.
Yeah,
and then I finished Saturday and then Sunday.
I showed property on the weekend, and then I helped in the yards, and Saturday and Sunday went to the 33rd annual Modesto Sunrise Rotary All-Star High School baseball game. That was pretty fun. Score was 9-8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that Republicans to Democrats?
It was.
Because that's kind of what the score was in D.C., 17-1 or something like that.
Exactly.
Well, besides doing that, I also pre-qualified 2 people and got 2 people on the contract over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't as the real estate agent, but as a loan person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I don't normally have this happen, but like twice, maybe a year, I'll have somebody who like starts to shop after they get into contract on a short contract.
Yeah, I'm suffering that right now.
And I'm like, okay. So I just went to him. I said, I don't mind people shopping me, and they usually do in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not, right at the end when we got 25 days of close, and I've already spent all this time, and you use my reputation and my stuff to get you into contract. And I know the agent took your offer because of my letter. Okay, I don't know for a fact, but
but most likely did.
And because it wasn't the people they went to, was that R1 place, which is like notorious for not closing on time, and
I don't think they've ever closed on time,
canceling halfway through the thing. And I'm like, and then they send them the stuff, and I'm like, okay, you do not want me to match this. It was $28,000 in costs.
Oh, to be able to match it.
Well, that's what
theirs was being.
That's what it was. And I was like, thank God. What I remember the day when they used to be competitive.
Yeah. Not anymore. We'll just show you a lower interest rate.
Well,
people do get fixated on that.
Well, that's what he saw. He saw 4.99 buy down, and it's like, really, you don't have enough money for this. You only got 2.5 back from the seller, and you don't have enough money from your house to add to that. So how can you even do this?
Would be nice.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just educating your clients. And so I might make a little change in my beginning to tell people, if you're going to shop me, go shop now.
Yeah.
Just because once we don't have time for it at the end, we need to go. And that would just solidify these 2 that I have every year.
Yeah.
And every time I still keep them, but it's just one of those things like, damn, I forget about this stuff. Anyway,
I get it. I get it.
What are we talking about today?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I've got listings coming up. I've got an issue with one right now that I don't want to talk about, but
all right. Well, I'll do my stuff then. How about
that? I think I'm going to show Carl something later today.
Oh, he didn't get that one?
No, okay. It's another one of those coming soon signs. And it's a, one of those agencies that we talk about all the time because they just really don't care about anybody but themselves. And she was in the computer as a brand new listing for about 2 hours, and then
went pending.
I guess she waited long enough and she put it pending. So I'm sorry, sellers, you probably left 10 to 15% on the table, but hey, your agent sold it quickly.
That's right. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. Let's get through some news. So we only have 3 days this week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is June 19th or 10th or whatever that is. All I know is it's a federal holiday, closes the market, and so then there's nothing to talk about on Friday. All right.
It's true.
Excuse me. So what do we have today? Dow's really up a little bit. S&P bonds which is really rates, are kind of flat. We're about 8 basis points, which means rates have improved about 8 basis points. The 10-year is up 4.42. We've seen that down in the 430s recently in the last week. So hopefully it'll get back down. What do we have today? We have the Empire State Manufacturing Survey. You know what that is?
No.
That's what they use when they manufactured the Empire State building. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Empire State Manufacturing Survey is the manufacturing activity in the New York region, which I had no idea until I started doing this, that they actually had manufacturing in the New York region. I thought it was all gone.
Yeah, but I guess not.
Yeah. So what this,
especially if they could count it.
Right. So the read that came out, they called it a rough read. The index came in at negative 16, which is well below. This means it's negative. It's not going positive, which is way below the negative 5.5% that they were expecting for this survey, showing that there's significant contraction in the manufacturing activity in New York region, a red flag for economic momentum. So are we going through the roof? No, everything's slowing down. So we also have a 20-year bond auction today. We'll see how that goes, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Tuesday, retail sales, industrial production, NAHB housing market index. That's the new home builds numbers. Okay, we'll move on. Wednesday, mortgage application, initial jobless claims, housing starts, and then the Federal Reserve has their meeting, and we'll see what they say after that.
And
Thursday closed. Thursday and Friday, there's no news that we need to talk about. So the other important information out there, we'll get to that right now, is where's the inventory? Inventory rose from, I got some conflicting numbers, but I'm going to go with these numbers because the other one looks like last week's. It says inventory rose from 808,564 to 825,761. That's a gain of 17,197 homes. Compared to the same week last year, we went from 611 to 620, which was only about 9,000 homes. So we're more than we were last year.
And we thought we were increasing inventory a lot back then.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, well, we have a lot more inventory right now. That just means there's in certain, like in our area, we don't have a lot more inventory here, but you got to average. So you can have Florida that has a lot, Texas has a lot. Yeah, so and that's where we're getting all those extra stuff at. Do I want to talk about that?
I don't know. What is it?
They're talking about Seattle's having issues with their median home price is $910,000. It's up from $649,000.
What's the issue?
That issue. Median income is only $110,744.
Nobody can afford a house.
Yeah, you put the price to income ratio is 7.4, one of the highest in the U.S. The city trails only behind the expensive metros like L.A. and San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah. The biggest issues.
Inventory.
But the other issue, same as California, they're passing zoning. They pass zoning reforms to allow ADUs, duplexes, and fourplexes statewide, which we like we did,
right? And
that goes into effect next month. However, the pressure right now is they have $9 billion in new state taxes passed in May, includes increase in property, estate sales, and capital gains taxes. They have some of the highest. They have some high income residents that are now looking, we're going to get out of here because of these dumbass tax relief issues. This is the problem. We have it here in California. We got major issues, and you still got people in the government going, we need to raise more taxes. We need to get taxes to pay for these illegals who come to the medical and all this stuff and pay for the medical that way. No, why don't we just get rid of them and stop charging us and cut some of these extra stuff out there that you're spending all of this money on?
Yes,
and whatever that is. Yeah, because I had somebody go, there's only so many of these people this way. I'm like, if you're going to check what I say, I'm good with that, but don't just take it one way. Like if I'm right about two people, I'm right. That's all I'm saying. That's
right.
If we're not supposed to be paying for certain people at all, because that's how I feel about it, we shouldn't have to pay for them. I understand one, and this is just one. Illegal immigrants come across our border, and if they get hurt, they go to the ER. And in the past, that was on the hospital.
Right.
Now it's
it's not. It's on us now.
Right. And it shouldn't be either one of those.
No.
They should have to pay for it. Well, they don't have any money. That's not
the point.
Yeah. If I went to Mexico and I got in a car accident, they arrest me. Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Because
they would offer life-saving.
Put a thumbs up to him.
Life-saving stuff, and then they would send you back to the States and have the rest of the medical stuff be there. Then probably try and collect from you too.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what they're, then now they're talking about, okay, even Trump, well, let's not go after the hotel industry and the other industries, the farm industries find the illegal immigrants. Well, most of those should be on a work visa, right?
Well, I would think
or they don't do those anymore.
No, I think they do. You
got light in your eye now.
I know. I kind of like it. It's on my nose. Okay. Well,
it's still there, but that's all right.
It's all right. I'm just looking at.
So I don't know what the answer is. The answer is I don't want to keep paying extra in taxes to live in a sunshine state. Seattle is paying more taxes. I mean, what's happening with these things is going to cause it to get worse for housing, worse for everything. People are going to leave, and then we'll have deals again for you to be able to buy houses.
Even with his podcast, and he's trying to.
Who are we talking about? Newsom.
Even with his podcast, and he's trying to act like a normal person. He won't do anything about the 65-cent raise in gas taxes that take effect in July. So right around your birthday, I think, Ed.
Wow.
And 65 more cents per gallon. Can you give me a freaking break? So here we go. We've got this mandate that everything has to be electric. And guess what? You don't pay for when you're charging your car is gas taxes. So they have to raise more gas taxes to be able to pay for the roads that they don't do anything to anyway.
Well, it's worse than that is that Trump passed something to say that we don't have to do that mandate.
Yeah.
And now they just went back through in California and passed it in California saying you have to do that mandate.
Yeah, it'll be a badminton game.
Well, I hope that everybody learned this time that it's time to get common sense into California law, into this on the 26th next year. So please vote your pocketbook and vote with common sense.
Yeah. Please.
We need to make a change so that people don't think they can just keep doing stupid things and getting away with it.
It's just too expensive. It's so expensive.
And it's not cheaper elsewhere.
Nope.
I mean, I explained stuff about Texas and Florida and other places, politics in California is horrible, but our tax base isn't bad, really. I mean, property tax isn't. If we go to the, we have sales tax, we have all the gas, other stuff. But if you go to Texas with the property tax, will kill you. You won't be able to afford your home after years.
True. I'm just tired of paying taxes on the money that's been taxed that I paid taxes on with the money that I was taxed on.
I'm not following the taxes.
I was taxed to death.
I got you.
Got it.
All right. Everybody make it a great day.
All right,
we're back tomorrow and Wednesday. And then we're going to be off on Thursday. We got to go to the parade.
Parade.
Everybody make it great. Having a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.